Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Daybreak on Trust Television, and of course, this is the newspaper review segment of the program. As is customary, I have a copy of the Daily Trust with me, but the Daily Trust is looking like a magazine this morning. But then again, we take the lead story and then we move quickly to other papers. Lead story there says, organizers meet IGP, insist on street protests. FG declares custodial centers red zone. Tinubu needs support to actualize policies. This is according to the Vice President, and that wraps it up for the Daily Trust this morning.
All right, we'll move on to the Vanguard newspaper, which is a bit busy on the front page this morning, with the major story: protest organizers list convergence points for rallies, and I think this is beginning to give it some organized shape,
some structure
that was liking, and then you find pictures there at the Jack Conde Memorial Lecture. For every media person, that's one of our own, and you can see some of the living legends still there in that picture. In the car Bible now, you can recognize Ali M. Ali, the former Minister of Information, Uncle Sam. The noble Uncle Sam is also there amongst other people. Two other stories directly above the nameplate: Nigeria Bonny Light price drops to $79 per barrel, lowest in 7 weeks. And FG hands over 400 CNG kits to transporters in 4 states. FG suspends duty on rice, flour, and other essential food items. Learn from Kenya's bitter experience, Bishop warns. And Jack Conde's lecture: publishers, editors, others point way forward to media survival. To other stories: State Fund laments Varsity's monthly 400 million electricity bill. And IOC's SAC suspended Nigeria boxer from Games Village as CAS confirms suspension. Painful. And that's the much we have from the Vanguard this morning.
And to the Guardian, lead story there says, real estate, slow justice system compounds investment uptake, 100 billion naira loss yearly. And of course, there's an infographic to back that up that says Lagos records over 3,000 property litigations in 4 years, 100 billion naira lost to frivolous court cases yearly. And it goes on and on and on. Ohana is a faction not to be over endorsement of protest. Also, empowerment: Yobe gives 1,780 women 5,300 goats to boost employment. Talk about empowerment. Federal government warns protesters, declares custodial centers red zones. And also, address Nigerians, reshuffle cabinet to stave off protests. Ex-SGF tells Tinubu. And these are some of the stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And quickly, we will be going over right now to our reviewer in the studio who joins us. Ben Shemang is a former director of news at the Voice of Nigeria. Welcome, editor.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
He's here with his trademark traditional red cap.
Indeed.
We have been on a journey to reveal the source of the cap, but that is not for today's show.
Yes, indeed.
The journey is on.
Yes, all is set for tomorrow. We saw that meeting with the IGP. They are insisting on a street protest. The IGP is asking for a confined location. They have also disclosed venues where these protests will be happening. How would you describe the development leading to this August occasion?
Yeah, you see, it's just like an election day. Some will say the D-Day, talking of the 11th hour. We are waking to hit the day, and it is also taking shape. Before now, they were saying, oh, no faces attached as to leadership. Now faces are coming out, and you could see that at the point IG, who was burning with fire, threatening fire and brainstorm, appears to be mellowing down, appears to be looking at the need for a civil kind of approach to the protest. Because at the point he said, look, you have to come write your name, tell us who you are, this and that. And also that the organizers, who are also at the point hiding, later on came out and said, no, We
But
also
at this
need
point,
the
it doesn't look
IG.
like they were hiding.
Yes, we also need the IG to tell us the number of policemen to be deployed, where they will be deployed, their names, their ranks, the kind of weapons they will hold, will you count bullets, who will hold bullets, and all that stuff. So you see, when we begin to reach that kind of a level, it means things are actually going bad. But now that it is taking what I call a civil kind of a shape, I think they should just maintain the momentum. And when Wike is saying that nobody has applied for the use of the Eagle Square, well, if it said so, supposing someone has written and the thing is being held somewhere because of bureaucratic kind of a bottleneck, so we don't know. Now, it also means that's an invitation for the organizers to formally apply. I saw that around Gwagwalada area, he was trying to flag off the construction work linking Gwagwalada via Kuje. Then
that bridge that has been suspended.
Exactly. Yeah. And you see, at the point when he was talking, behind the scene, you could say, we are hungry. But at that point, I really saw the mastery in Wiki trying to douse tension, and he did it very well. He said, we are all hungry, we are. And I sympathize, let's sympathize with ourselves. But in doing all of that, should we begin to fight ourselves because we are hungry? Let's see how we are going to make it. Even this project here is yours. So when you have this kind of explanations, it's always better. And there are some people in society. I remember when I was still a State House correspondent, the days of General Abdul Salami. We were, you know, the military background kind of a thing. June 12 had been annulled and all that. Abdul Salami promised there will be democracy, there will be election. So he was going around sensitizing people, meeting here and there. By the time we reached Lagos, you could see it was like a kind of people trying to riot, what will they do? They went and got Lagbaja. Lagbaja mounted the stage. No do, something like that. No do, gra something like that. And at the end, he just said, hey. Then there was silence. He said, listen to your leader. You know, that kind of crowd control. You know, people then listened to Abdul Salami. And when we went to Unilag, I am telling you, students, everybody wanted to touch the man. What was the magic? I don't know. But you could see that was a military regime. No gun was ever fired. And because people wanted to touch it, not because they wanted to kill him. No. They needed to just see that man who is now setting a ground for democracy. And so coming to the case as we have now, under democracy, if the military could handle it that way, what about civilians? You know, we didn't send the military to take over power, but we sent civilians to where they are via the ballot paper. But if you went there via the ballot paper, it should be different from now using the bullet. Using the bullet to control those who took it there via the ballot paper. So that's the situation we have, and truly people are hungry. But I can see, yes, there are some elements that government is trying to do something. When the heat was on, they said Dangote is being frustrated. And if people are hungry, I mean, you have a child at home, you don't have money, and the child is insisting, Daddy, Mommy, I'm hungry. Wherever you can get the money, the baby does not understand. In the same vein, if we begin to say Dangote has not followed laid down rules, this. Yes, can you just discuss that and simply not make it sound like you want to compound your problems in terms of governance?
All right.
So there are times if the law is so harsh, can you mellow down a bit? Can you mellow down?
Yeah, we have seen the move by the government to now remove duties on rice, flour. They've been making some kind of concessions as far as we know and have reported in the media. There are also moves in other quarter. We saw the distribution of rice by some governors. We know the government said they have disbursed this rice, even though we are not seeing several other state governments apart from Borno sharing this rice and all. Do you think the government has made sufficient concession? And where is the place of the state government in all of this conversation?
Yeah, you see, in terms of government making some concessions, yes, on paper, there are. But to plot it down, I have always created the cliche of when you talk of air mark, you're hearing about it. But mine is I mark. You must see it so that you believe.
Seeing is believing.
Exactly. Quickly, the National Assembly just passed the law minimum wage. Quickly, the president signed. And quickly, you can see the customs are saying, look, all necessary edibles we have dropped immediately, import duties. You know, they are trying to do all of this. It's like oh, so sorry, I thought I switched off this.
So go ahead.
Oh,
So you can just proceed.
you know, so I honestly, you just see that government is making concessions, but the state governments are simply not playing the speed of the federal government. Why am I saying so? You know, there are just loads on everybody, and they want whatever they want. Everybody must follow, take it hook, line, and sinker. In the midst of federal government trying to resolve many of these crises, you know, when the Supreme Court just said there has to be this financial autonomy for local governments, you could now see how quickly the governors are trying to conduct elections. But you also look at there are some states that want to conduct these elections, but what are they trying to do? That will not trigger some crisis like we have now. If you have 24 local governments or you have 30 local governments, the governor of that state can simply print 30 forms, meaning that every local government will just give one person. Now, what you do for the opposition, you jack up the price of form so that the opposition cannot.
This is the tactics.
If you say a form for local government chairman is 25 million naira for state independent because it's controlled by the governor, then how will other political parties, how can candidates of other political parties, in other words, they just want a single kind of a party at the state level.
All right.
So
that
all of these things,
yes,
they are trying to heat up the polity that the federal government is trying to douse. Let us simply have democracy.
Okay.
If you carry the Quran, carry the Bible, and swear that you do justice to everybody, this is time.
All right.
That
Before we go,
justice.
I would like you to pass some comment. We lost Onyeka Owenu this morning. It's your generation that enjoyed her
Indeed,
the most. What we left for us were just relics of what you people enjoyed in your time.
I am telling you,
what
one love, keep us together. I think that song should be the one dominating the airwaves today because of what she stood for. At the point they called her the stallion, who never gave up. The struggle, either politically, socially, you know, she was at the forefront. In terms of, trying to stitch families together, you could see that her song, her rendition, her stand, and all that. Recall too, she was also the MD of Women Development Center, meaning that she also had a soft spot for women and the downtrodden. Also, for the girl child, yes, you can't push Onyeka Owenu when it comes to that. And you could also see that in terms of being in tandem with the Igbo culture, she would also do some songs, some renditions in Igbo language. In other words, some of these children who could also learn how to sing in Igbo language is a kind of trying to bring up the Igbo culture that's supposed to be there. Because we all have cultures, we all come from different places, and there's no happiness in making a certain culture die. So may her soul simply rest in peace.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ben Shaman, for that fitting tribute to somebody who was also one of our own. She was forerunners to them. She played in this profession with us and went on to do other great things. Indeed, she deserved the title, the Stallion. And that's the much that we can bring to you this morning. I want to thank you for finding time, as always, to be in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
You know, and to blessing our audience with those historic perspectives to your analysis. It's Sunday, or rather, I am Sunday Michael Ogu. Thanks for joining us this morning, and stay tuned for all other interesting package lined up for you for the rest of the day.
And my name is Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for staying till this point.